Well, hello there, amazing people. Students watching from all over the world. I'm super excited to be here with you on the fifth video in this series of the mole concept that we've been dealing with. And up next, we're dealing with the formula. This can be derived from the mole relationship. So let's go ahead and check out what we've got for you in today's video. We want to start by talking about the empirical formula, which is one of the formulas that can be derived from the mole relationship. Empirical formula. What does it do? It's a formula that tells us the simplest whole number ratio of atoms in a compound. What does that even mean? Well, let me explain. For those of you who cook that are listening to this video, here is something that you can relate to. If a recipe uses, for example, 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of beans, and you're asked, what is the ratio of the amount of rice that is used compared to the amount of beans that was used? We know that we have 2 cups of rice ratio 4 cups of beans. Now, if you look at these two numbers, there is something that is common amongst both of them. Both of them can be divided by the number 2. When we divide these two numbers by the number 2, we end up simplifying the ratio to become 1:2. That is the simplest ratio of the amount of rice that was used against the amount of beans that was used. Now we've reduced it to its lowest term. That's the same thing that the empirical formula does for a compound. It gives us the ratio of atoms that are present in a compound in its simplest term. So let's go ahead and find out how the empirical formula of a compound can be determined. There are a number of steps we need to take to ascertain the empirical formula of any compound, okay? Step number 1, we write the elements. Step number 2, we write their masses or percentages. Step number 3, we convert to moles, divide everything by the smallest, and if it's not a whole number, that's our result. We multiply till it becomes whole. Now, enough talking, let's go into the practical session where we deal with a number of questions. Okay, so we have the first question on the screen right now that says a compound contains carbon, 12 grams of carbon, 2 grams of hydrogen, and 16 grams of oxygen. Let's calculate the empirical formula. So step number 1, write the elements. We have carbon, we have hydrogen, and we have oxygen. We've done that. Step number 2, write their masses or their percentages. This time we were given the values in terms of their masses. We have carbon to be 12, we have hydrogen to be 2, and we have oxygen to be 16. The next thing to do would be to convert those masses into number of moles. And this time to do that, we divide by the atomic mass. Now, the atomic mass of carbon is 12, so we divide this by 12. The atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, so we divide by 1. And the atomic mass of oxygen is 16, so we divide by 16. These are the values we end up having. We have 1, we have 2, and we have 1 as well. 1, 2, 1. The next step says divide everything by the smallest. The smallest number among all three of these is 1. So let's divide by 1. Have divided by 1, divided by 1, and divided by 1. Our values now become 1, 2, 1. The last step says if they are not whole numbers, multiply till it becomes whole. Well, fortunately for us, all numbers here are whole numbers. So we have 1:2:1. Therefore, the empirical formula becomes CH2 and O. This, my friends, is the empirical formula of the compound that we have just calculated. Very simple, right? It doesn't get any more basic than that. So here is a rundown of what we just did. The empirical formula is the simplest and most basic formula of a compound that tells us the ratio of the atoms present in that formula, how many atoms appear as far as the ratio is concerned. Now we're moving on to the molecular formula, which is the real and actual formula of a compound. How do we calculate it? How do we find it? It's very easy and simple. We use the concept of the molar mass. Now, there are a number of steps that are required for you to follow to calculate or ascertain the molecular mass of a compound. So what are the steps? Step number one would be to find the empirical formula. So let's go ahead and take that off the box. Step number two would be to calculate its mass, that is the formula, the empirical formula mass. Let me write that down. Empirical formula mass. That would be to calculate it. And then thirdly would be to divide the given molar mass by the empirical mass. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how all these can be carried out. And then multiply that formula by the answer. So enough talking. Let's go ahead and solve at least a question and see if we can learn a thing or two. Now, the question here starts off by saying if the molar mass of a compound if the molar mass of a compound, this is the empirical formula. We have CH2O is 60 grams. What is the molecular formula? So first things first, find the empirical formula. We have the empirical formula to be CH2O. The second thing would be to calculate its mass. How do we do that? Pretty easy. We have CH2O. So we calculate the mass by adding up the relative atomic masses of the individual elements. So we have carbon, which is 12, and there's just one atom of carbon. So it becomes 12 times 1, plus hydrogen, which is having an atomic mass of 1 multiplied by 2 because there are 2 atoms of hydrogen, plus oxygen, which is 16, and oxygen appears just one atom of oxygen, so it becomes 16 times 1. So altogether, we have 12 plus 2 plus 16. That gives us 14 plus 16, and yeah, we end up having 30 grams per mole. This is the empirical formula mass. So let's write that down. The empirical formula is CH2O. The formula mass is 30. Now, the next step says divide the given molar mass, by the empirical mass. What is the given molar mass? It said if the molar mass of a compound is 60 grams per mole, so we just use 60 and divide it by the empirical formula mass, which is 30. 60 divided by 30 gives us 2. That is step number 3. We have 2. And then the final step says multiply the empirical formula by that answer. The empirical formula is CH2. So when we multiply it by 2, what do we have? We have C times 2, we have H2 times 2, and we have O times 2. So let's go ahead and put in our values. We now have C2, H4, and O2. This, my friends, is the molecular formula C2, H4, and O2. I hope you got value from this and you're seeing how everything is playing out. First thing we did was to find the empirical formula. Second thing was to calculate the mass of the empirical formula. And then the third thing was to divide the molar mass by the empirical mass. We had 2. And then the fourth thing we did was to multiply the empirical formula by that 2 that we obtained. Pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty straight to the point. Now that moves us to the next formula that we can obtain using the mole relationships, which is percentage composition. Now, like the name states, the percentage composition is simply a value or a measure that tells us how much of each element is present in a compound. For instance, it can tell us that water, which is H2O, contains a particular percentage of oxygen. That is what percentage composition is all about. And there is a formula that tells us how to ascertain that. It says that the percentage composition of any element in a compound is given by the mass of that element divided by the molar mass of the compound multiplied by 100. So how do we put that into action? By solving one or two questions. Well, join me one more time. The question here starts off by saying, find the percentage of carbon in CO2. Find the percentage of carbon in CO2. Percentage composition, remember, is equal to the mass of the element divided by the molar mass of compound and everything multiplied by 100. So let's plug in our values. What is the mass of the element in this compound? We're looking for the mass of carbon in CO2. The mass of carbon in CO2 is 12. So that becomes 12 divided by, what is the molar mass of the compound? CO2. Let's calculate that. We have C here, which is 12, and it appears once. We have oxygen over here, which is 16, and it appears twice. So we have 12 plus 32. That gives us 44. So altogether, we have 12 divided by 44 multiplied by 100. This would be the percentage composition of carbon in CO2. So let's go ahead and punch our calculators. 12 divided by 44 times 100. This gives us 27.273. 27.273%. This is the percentage composition of carbon in CO2. So you see, all these things were gotten just because of the mole concept, the empirical formula, the molecular formula, and even the percentage composition. Now, here are some exercise questions that I'd like you to go ahead and try out your hands on. Please feel absolutely free to drop the answers that you obtain in the comment section, and I'll be there to respond to everyone single engagements that you drop for this video. Here is the next section, intermediate questions, and then we have the exam standard questions. That's it for today's video. Up next, we have the application of all we've been saying in chemical equations. It's something you do not want to miss, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for stopping by. It's been David, high school online tutor for chemistry kids, and I'm sure you enjoyed every bit of this video. See you in the next one.